Greetings. I'm Chris Snow, Director of Public Policy for the United States Composting Council, bringing to you today the July Compost Policy Pulse. In it, we'll be covering how on Wednesday, June 18th, more than 50 Senate and House staffers attended a congressional briefing held in the Capitol Visitor Center in Washington, D.C. on the dangers of treating compost manufacturers and other passive receivers as polluters for the unintended entry of PFAS and other related chemicals into our operations. PFAS are a category of synthetic forever chemicals utilized for their grease and water-repelling properties. In recent decades, they have become ubiquitous in our environment, primarily through contamination from industrial production and firefighting foams. Unfortunately, they are also found in many common household products, both intentionally and unintentionally. PFAS leach off of these products and enter our environment through water, soil, plants, and animals. They make their way into compost through many mediums, including contaminated food, water, biosolids, and food packaging. Attention surrounding PFAS has been unfairly directed towards composters and other passive receivers, including wastewater treatment, drinking water, and solid waste management. These essential public service industries do not generate PFAS, but rather receive them in the media that they manage to protect human health and environment. The congressional briefing, led by a multi-industry group called the Passive Receivers Coalition and attended by the USCC's Executive Director, Linda Norris-Walt, and myself, Chris Snow, detailed the dangers of targeting passive receivers in PFAS legislation. In addition to passive receiver industry members, perspectives were heard from researchers, local governments, and public works departments. The briefing also addressed the EPA's past ruling to designate PFAS as a hazardous substance under CERCLA, also known as the Superfund Law, which exposes passive receivers to retroactive, joint and several, and strict liability, even when they've complied with all laws and had no role in the contamination. This designation effectively shifts CERCLA's polluter pays model to a community pays model. The USCC and the Passive Receivers Coalition is actively working with EPA to establish a path forward where the polluter pays and passive receivers are protected. Please also look for the article in the Compost Communicator on the release of the Model Municipal Ordinance on Community Composting by the NRDC, ELI, and ILSR. That wraps up our July Compost Policy Pulse. Look forward to seeing you in August. Take care.